a woke chocolate bar commercial, domestic terrorism turned international terrorism, and, of course, the banks crashing, and what you should do to prepare. Welcome to the After Work Podcast. Alrighty, guys, welcome to my new thing that I'm gonna do. I've decided that, I would just want to have a show. That's what I want to do. And don't worry, the quality will get better. Um, I know I don't have the best lighting right now. Um, I am going to be moving into a different location where I'm going to have a different backdrop and all of that stuff in my apartment once I get it kind of set up and everything squared away. But from now on, I'm going to be doing this instead of my normal political stuff. It is going to be an opinion show mostly. It's going to be called After Work, obviously. Um, and basically, I'm going to do this once a week. Probably either release it on Saturday or Sunday, um, where I basically kind of go over a couple stories from the entirety of the week that, I found interesting or that I want to talk about. And hopefully those of you who, work jobs or, can't really keep up with the day-to-day stuff will watch this and, see a couple things that maybe you didn't see otherwise. Um, I listen to a lot of other podcasts. I read the news. I do a lot of that stuff during the week because my job requires a lot of physical labor, and I have nothing better to do while doing that labor than actually sitting there and going through the news and, hearing a bunch of, BS that goes on. So, with that being said, today we're going to be going over a couple different stories, and the first of which is going to be about a woke chocolate bar ad that Hershey's put out. um, it's pretty funny. So, it's it's an ad that they put out for International Women's Day, right? And of course, they went full woke. And well, they did something that quite honestly is both funny and concerning. Um, they made a biological man the spokes. Oh, they made a they made a biological man the spokeswoman for their International Women's Day campaign. And they called the campaign, and I'm serious about this, uh, her, she. Yeah, Hershey's put that out. Now, I will say that's a pretty good play on words, but well, it's it's so obviously a virtue signal that it makes me not want to buy Hershey's chocolate, to be honest. Anyway, I'm sure you guys want to see the ad, right? So, we're going to take a look at the ad right now, and you guys tell me what you think of this, okay?
My name is Faye Johnstone. I'm the executive director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world where everyone is able to live in public space as their honest and authentic selves. See the women changing how we see the future at Hershey's Canada.
Okay, okay, that's enough of that. Um, just look at the bar. They went full on with it. Her for she, Hershey's cookies and cream. Uh, Now granted, this was I believe it's the Canadian one. It's the Canadian franchise of Hershey's. But come on, man. Like, this is ridiculous. And I just want to let me see if I can find the frame. It's hilarious. Um, let's see. Look how thrilled this woman is that this is happening. I, she's just super thrilled about this whole thing. But, you know, obviously nobody wants their woke BS in businesses, right? Like I when all the woke BS started happening with various different businesses, I just stopped using it. The NFL started doing stuff. I stopped watching the NFL. Um, Nike went along with it, and I just stopped buying Nike products, Carhartt, all that stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to throw away the stuff that I already own, but I'm not going to purchase more of those items, you know? Um, but you know what? Obviously, I'm going to finish off my Hershey's bars, right? Like, I have some of those, and I'm going to finish them off because, you know, there's no reason to throw them out. And you know what? In fact, I actually want to get a Hershey's bar right now. So I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it. Ugh. Alrighty, guys. So I went, grabbed my Hershey's bar, and I'm back. You know, of course, I need to eat. My Hershey's bar. Oh, this is not a pretzel. This is a Hershey's bar. And for those of you who are going to say anything in the comments, well, if you say that this is not a Hershey's bar, well, you're a bigot. But seriously, like, why is it that companies feel the need to get involved in politics or this BS culture crap? Like, I don't care. Like, the only thing I care about is your product good? And arguably, Hershey's is, I mean, it's chocolate. So, if you like chocolate, you're probably going to like Hershey's. I personally don't like Hershey's all that much just because the taste, I don't know, there's something about the taste. I prefer other types of chocolate, but you know, to each their own. But this has been a real problem for a very long time, and it's getting increasingly worse. Companies are throwing their politics in our faces, and nobody cares. It got so bad that it started bleeding into entertainment. It's like you watch entertainment to get away from politics and the worries of life, right? So when they start interjecting it into that stuff or your products, it just nothing is ever, you can never get away from it, right? Like for instance, Hershey's. Like I don't care. It's a chocolate bar. I don't want to know about whatever this is. I don't want to see it, you know? Um, I had back in 20, I think it was 2020, um Assassin's Creed, a video game that I play, put out an update where the only thing in the update was to change uh the little opening line. It used to say, "Oh, well, we this game is made by various different religions and ethnicities," and then they now changed it to religions, ethnicities, genders, and gender identities. And it's like that was a pointless update. That was the only update. And then I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 2. I can't remember which, but one of the Battlefield games, their only update was not any bug fixes, not any like that. It was an introduction black screen that said that they supported Black Lives Matter. I don't care about anything politics. I am playing video games or eating a Hershey's bar to get away from all of that, okay? It is permeating everything now. And we just need to stop it. Just just stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Please, you know? But that being said, if you're going to end up with I would say a left-leaning chocolate bar and they're not going to stop with all of the pushing agendas thing. Just make a right-leaning chocolate bar. And that is exactly what the Daily Wire did. They made a chocolate bar. Um, the Daily Wire is a conservative company. They put out movies, documentaries, mostly podcasts. Um, but uh, Jeremy, the CEO, who also sells Jeremy's razors, decided that they were going to go ahead and make a commercial counteracting Hershey's. So let's take a look at that, shall we?
International Women's Day is upon us again, and I love an international woman. But our friends over at Hershey's, they don't even know what a woman is. They've hired a biological male to be the spokesperson for their Women's Day campaign, and they're calling that campaign, and I swear I'm not making this up, Hershey. Hershey. It's humiliating, and it's the reason that I'm launching Jeremy's chocolate. We have two kinds, she, her, and he, him. One of them's got nuts. If you need me to tell you which one it is, keep giving your money to Hershey's. But if you're tired of giving your money to woke corporations that hate you, and you're looking for a delicious chocolate bar from a company that actually wants your business, head over to IHateHersheys.com and order Jeremy's chocolate today.
Man, this is a good Hershey's bar. Anyway, yeah, so that's their ad for their new chocolate bar, and I gotta tell you, man, first time I saw that, I about died laughing. That was genius. And the most impressive part of it really is the fact that they put that ad out, from my understanding, like within 10 hours of Hershey releasing their ad campaign. The quickness with which they did that is just wow. You know what I mean? So, and I believe they sold, I think it was 100,000 bars, like in the first 12 hours of this ad being out. It just goes to show you that a lot of people really wanted an alternative. And obviously, you can pick whichever you want. I haven't tried the Jeremy's chocolates. I probably will at some point. Um, I don't know when I'll do it, but I will be buying a couple at some point. Um, I'm just hoping that they are indeed better than, Hershey's. Um, I'm not going to buy Hershey's anymore because, like I said, I don't really like them. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, this is the perfect counter to that. Um, I just can't believe that we live in such a clown world that this has to be the reaction to something so absurd, is to go in the other direction almost as absurd. Not the notion that there's only men and women. That's not absurd. That's just fact. But the fact that they had to actually make a chocolate company in 10 hours just because they knew that people didn't want to deal with this other chocolate company anymore. Like, that's just absurd, you know? So, speaking of Clown World, um, yeah, the Atlanta police charged 23 people following the attack on a police and fire training center. Apparently, Antifa was pretty pissed off that they're gonna be doing something with police and firemen, you know, training them. So it, I love though where it says right here, it says violent protest at the construction site. Um, I don't know about you, but I don't think that firebombing things and shooting people is a protest at all. Pretty sure that's a riot, but in this case, Antifa is a terrorist organization, okay? They are. Based on everything that they've done through the last 2 years, they're a terrorist organization. Now, I think that they should be considered an international terrorist organization, not just a domestic one, because of the fact that in Atlanta, at least two of the people were from a different country. These people came from another country to attack our law enforcement. If that's not international terrorism, I don't know what is. Okay, so let's see here. Uh, Many of the people arrested were from out of state, and two were from out of the country. One one terrorist was from France, and the other terrorist was from Canada. So you've got two terrorists from two different countries joining up with domestic terror group and going and setting fire to construction equipment, as you can see here. Look at this. They set fire to construction equipment, all because they wanted to protest this crap. And this has just been a growing problem uh, for the last, what, 3 years now? I mean, Antifa basically went out and, you know, firebombed, what was it, federal buildings during the George Floyd protests. They went out and they decided, oh yeah, since everybody else is protesting, we should attack as well. And so they burned courthouses, they burned people's private property. I mean, look at look at any of the cities that were in the mainstream news, like Kenosha, basically got burned to the ground. Um, Minneapolis is basically not even a city anymore. It barely exists because of all the destruction and business closures. And all of this is a combination of Black Lives Matter protesters who were out there marching and gave Antifa I would say, cover to go out and destroy stuff. Now, that's not to say that there weren't Black Lives Matter protesters that were destroying stuff too, but I think that it was mostly Antifa members. And this right here kind of proves my point. These Antifa members here just went out and just destroyed crap just 'cause, you know? Um, and it was, I mean, it was ridiculous. Uh, Majority Taylor Greene, who's a representative in, I think it's Congress, right? She says this is domestic terrorism. It was planned for weeks and announced on social media. Antifa are self-proclaimed communists and consistently organized to attack our government over and over again. And, left-leaning people and left-leaning media like to say, "Oh yeah, well, they're not organized. They're not communicating like that. They don't, plan anything." But they were. They were planning this. How else do you explain people coming from two other countries and from multiple states to the exact same area and then destroying things? Like the violence is getting out of hand. I mean, I believe in connection with this, a policeman was shot and an Antifa member was killed because he shot at cops. Like, and then you have reports going back as far as a couple years ago where people were getting shot in the streets at the Black Lives Matter protests, and then, just conservatives walking down the street were, getting two to the chest just for why? For why? No, no reason, just walked up and shot them, you know? So this is just getting completely out of hand, and we need to dial this all back. How? I don't know. I don't know how we dial all of this back. Especially with the world getting progressively worse and things seeming like they're only going to get worse. You know, um, for instance, our next story that I'm going to talk about is the bank collapse, basically, the Silicon Valley bank collapse. So the company basically said on Wednesday, yeah, we need to raise 2.25 billion dollars to fix our balance sheet. Well, what's that about, right? Now you've got just insane. Well, oh, come on. Well, you guys saw it, right? No? Why is it doing that? Okay, never mind. We'll find a different story, I guess. Well, it doesn't really matter. Okay, here's all the stories for it. But basically, this is a California bank that collapsed. Um, it's ridiculous. The people who have their money in this bank are probably millionaires because it's California based, and I assume that a lot of rich people probably have their money in this bank. The FDIC only insures up to I think it's $250,000 at this bank. So if you had, $15 million in there, well, good luck. Now you get 250,000. That's it. Okay, that's a simplified version of it, but like, yeah. But this is a signal that our monetary system is collapsing. I mean, just look at what's been happening with our fiat currency, right? The only reason that our currency is worth literally anything is because we have a bunch of guns to say, hey, you need to buy oil in dollars. That's it. That's the only thing that's backing it up. We got off the gold standard in the 70s, and now our currency isn't backed by anything except oil. And that's slowly being eroded because of the alliances between Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, and people are starting to, and those countries are starting to go, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't use the dollar anymore. Now you've got banks collapsing, huge banks collapsing, and the stock market is tanking because of it. So you've got a ton of people who are freaking out over the stock market because all of that's going on. There are a lot of people who are saying that they can't even touch their money right now because it's all tied up for the next 10 days. Like you've got people who are reporting, "Hey, I just got a direct deposit into my bank, but I can't touch it for like 3 to 10 business days." Or people who are paying off their credit cards. And normally, when they pay off their credit cards, you can use the balance right away, right? But it's not showing up. And then when they call, they're saying, "Oh, well, hey, you can't use it for 3 to 7 days." What's up with that? And it's all starting to. It's like a snowball that you roll down a hill, right? It starts out small, and then as it goes, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the time it hits the bottom, it's too big of a problem to stop. Now, am I saying that all this is absolutely going to result in like a recession, depression, or any of that stuff? No, because I can't predict the future, right? Because trust me, if I could, money would not be an issue for me. GameStop. Uh, anyway, my point being that everyone needs to start getting prepared. Whether or not you actually think that anything's going to happen or not, doesn't matter. You should get prepared. Go buy food, okay? Go buy food. Buy those ready meal things. I've got some of those. Go buy canned goods, stuff that can sit on a shelf for like 2 years and still be fine. You know, uh, Go fill up your refrigerator like right now, okay? I'm not saying this because, I know, oh, something bad's going to happen. No, I'm saying it because what if it does? Everything we're seeing is signs pointing to, yeah, something bad's going to happen. And if you don't have food, if you don't have water, speaking of water, I mean, the people, an example of that, what happened in Ohio, the train derailment and everything that went on like 3 weeks ago. They've got poisoned water. All they can use is bottled water, and the stores basically ran out of bottled water. Now, what if something like that happened in your area combined with you not being able to take out money or your credit card's not working or anything like that, or uh, the monetary system being, inflated to the point where, you know, eggs cost $6, $7 per dozen. Oh, hold on. Wait. Oh, that's right now. That's right now. I just bought 12 12 eggs for like $7. I remember, I think it was last year, it was like 250 per freaking carton. Like that's ridiculous that eggs cost that much right now. And yet I went and I bought them because, well, I like eggs and because I need to stock up my refrigerator, right? So I went and I bought stuff. I bought, canned goods. I've got all that. I've got some water. You should do the same because if this bank collapsed in 2 days, essentially, right? What if all the banks collapse, right? Probably be only a couple days that it'll take, and you probably won't really get any notice until it's done and over with. And by then it's too late. So go get what you need to get and get safe. Okay? Make sure that you're prepared. That's all I can say. And that's all I'll say, you know? But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for your viewership. I just want to say thank you for subscribing to me and for those of you who actually watch my stuff. um, and tell me if you like this new format um, for the doing like multiple stories in one video instead of one story per video or only a couple stories or whatever. I'm trying to be a little more entertaining, Yeah, I hope hope my humor, humored you a little bit. Anyway, guys, thank you. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and thank you for watching the After Work podcast.